get the parallelogram function that takes in inputs row and column and returns a parallelogram as a character matrix with the height of R and the width of C. This is what it should look like when entered to 4x5. We can't use any loops to solve this problem, but we can use repmat, meshgrid, flip up down, element-wise, and logical indexing. And here are some of the hints that he gives us. So let's copy this. Okay, so these are the 3 hints that he's given us. Let's see what the first one does. Let's say that our row is, we'll take the 4x5, and our column is 5. Okay, so let's see what this gives us when we just enter this. Okay, so it gives 4x8 matrix of character stars. So let's see what the next part does. This is using meshgrid. And again, the 4 and 4x5 is our row column. So this seems to do 4 rows and 8 columns, and 4 rows and 8 columns. The only difference is that the columns, you have the same number per column, and this one has the same number per row. Let's take a look at what happens when we add together CS and RS. We want to find a pattern for how we can locate which ones should be stars and which ones should not. So the ones that we want to be stars in this case, you see CS plus RS, you get a diagonal row of 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Those are the numbers that we want to replace with stars, and the rest we want to replace with spaces. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add a new variable, mesh sum, and this is going to equal CS plus RS. Okay. Then from here, let's do a logical index matrix. So if we want to see which ones, you can tell that if it's rows and columns, that we want to make it 1. Let's just test it down here. Answer is going to be less than or equal to R, or the answer is greater than the row plus column. So if it's a 4x5, this part is going to be less than or equal to R, so 4. And this here, up to 10, is going to be greater than 4 plus 5. So we include 9 and we include 5, but we get rid of 4 to 2 and 10 to 12. Okay, so let's see how this works. Great, so we have the zeros in the pattern that we want to replace with stars, and we have ones where we want to replace with 0. If you want to do the other way, it'll just be the reverse. So you could do answer is greater than R or less than or equal to R plus C. Either way is fine. Okay, so let's add this in. We have now our logical index matrix is going to equal where mesh sum is less than or equal to R, or it's less than or it's greater than R plus C. Okay. And now finally, we want to replace just the parts that are equal to 1 with spaces in S. So that's not too bad. We're just going to say where S is true for I, we're going to replace it with a space. And we didn't use this hint. That's okay. This is probably the most concise you can get it down to. And we'll save this, parallelogram 2. And let's try it out. We'll do 4x5. And it works. Let's just try it so that we flip the dimensions so that it's maybe longer than it is taller than it is long. And we still get the correct answer. So that's how we do get parallelogram 2.